وجدان راح أعمل أدخل الجميع. أوكي، هاي ماركو دخل.
طيب تمام، بدي أقلب أنا على شبكة جديدة.
أوكي، بدي أدخل ماركو. تمام.
دخلي واعملي كوست. أماندين دخلت؟ هيها دخلت هاي. Hi Marco, hi Mandy.
Hey, good morning, Wishdan. How are you?
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. Perfect. Okay.
Hello,
So now,
hello, Amandine.
yeah. Rahaf, if you would like to allow everybody, if you would like to remove the waiting room, that would be perfect.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, I will admit everyone.
Okay, so I'll share my screen once we start, right? So I can flip over the slides.
Welcome everyone, and then we'll
Mhm.
so that you can start. شباب بس إذا ممكن Okay. Okay, so so much. احضر لحالك يعني. تشيلني وين حتى معاك.
كمان مرة كمان.
لهم ميوت للصوت، عندهم صوت طالع. تمام. طيب I'll speak in Arabic first, then I will introduce ماركو and أماندين. يسعد صباحكم جميعا وأهلا وسهلا فيكم في اللقاء المتعلق في مشروع SUNREF 2 في فلسطين. Let me introduce our speakers for today. The session will be in English as announced. We have Mr. Marco Markov. He is the team leader for SUNREF Palestine 2. He's a technical assistant and senior environmental efficiency finance specialist at EconLayer. Also, we would like to welcome Amandine as well. She is the key international technical expert and for SUNREF Palestine 2. And she's a senior environmental energy technical specialist at EconLayer as well. So I have to make sure that both Mr.
They are co-hosted.
في ناس مش سامعين. Make sure that they are co-hosts so that they can share the slide.
Yes.
For those who cannot hear us, اللي مش قادرين يسمعونا, please اعمل exit وارجع لأنه make sure إنه أنتم عم بتنقوا الصوت, عم تعملوا settings تبع صح. إذا راح نكتب لهم بالمسجات إيش steps عشان يقدروا يعملوا الصوت. تمام. اوكي واضح انه في ناس الصوت عندهم واضح ومسموع. Okay, so we can start until everybody else connect their audio systems. Okay. تمام. So Marco, you can share your slides if you want.
Thank you, Wishdan. Hello everyone. I'm Marco. Nice to be here among you today, together with Amandine. I will now share my screen. We have prepared a presentation. So the topic of today's session, of course, we're going to again present the SUNREF2, its operational principles, its conditions and terms for support. But before that, Amandine will be talking about the importance of improving the energy efficiency in the building sector. And of course, she will be giving us some examples on how SUNREF can support such projects, because you may know, or may not know, I don't know, but SUNREF2 has shifted its investment focus more towards energy efficiency. SUNREF1 was almost entirely disbursed on renewable energy projects. Now we would like to see more energy efficiency projects. We have started seeing, to be honest, we have already approved 7 energy efficiency projects in Palestine under SUNREF2. Unfortunately, none of them is related to efficiency in buildings. So that's why today's session is aimed to encourage all of you to develop projects related to energy efficiency investments in buildings. And having said all this, I will now share my screen and give the floor to Amandine, who must be in Kosovo today, right, Amandine?
I am in Kosovo today. Hi, everybody. I just landed.
All right. Welcome to the Balkans. I hope you can now see my screen. Can you?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
But can you make it a full screen?
It is full screen.
Yes, you
wait.
have to go to the slideshow option to the bottom right and choose. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is it okay now?
Not yet. This is strange. But it's still fine. We can see it, but it's not on full screen mode, which is fine.
It is on full screen on my.
Yeah.
On the PowerPoint, you can put the slideshow option.
All right.
He did, but it didn't work in our mode. But maybe you can, unpick the slideshow and then redo it, maybe.
Okay, I'll try once more, because it is becoming slideshow on my screen.
Okay.
Right. Once again.
Yeah, this one.
Is it working now?
No.
It's full screen.
It's fine. It's working, Mark. Thank you.
Is it working now? Oh, great.
Yes.
Great. Okay, so Amandine, the floor is yours. We'll start with Amandine's part of the presentation, because you have to leave us and get about her business in Kosovo, and then I will present the program and its study fund. All right, so Amandine,
Thank you so much. I'm not seeing, unfortunately, I'm not seeing correctly your screen, but if everybody's seeing it, that's the most important thing. So Marco, I don't know where you are exactly. You are at the agenda, or you are the first one?
Okay, I think, are you watching through a laptop or through a mobile or an app?
I am a laptop.
Then you should be able to see it. Okay, then
just maybe I'll.
Marco, could you please unshare the screen and then reshare it just in case for everyone? At least Amandine, she should be able to see the slide.
It would be great, but I can do it with my own slide and he can follow up.
Yeah. When you do it now, try to make sure, yeah. Can you see it now, Amandine?
I'm seeing the first one,
yeah.
But not.
Yeah, but because he will be following up with you on the second and every slide.
Can you go on the second one, Marco, to see if it's. You're on mute.
Marco, can you go to the second slide?
So I can see it's moving.
I'm now moving the slides, guys. Can you see this? I am moving the slides.
I cannot.
ممكن تعملوا ميوت اللي بفوت جديد بليز.
بدك الشهاده هاي بسويها ماشي. اوكي خلاص.
I muted him. So you can you see my screen now?
She wanted you to go to the second slide if possible, just to make sure that she can see all the slides.
I am running through the slides all the time.
No, we can see only the first one.
Well, we can see only the first one. Do
All
you,
right, I will
maybe
change.
I'll share mine if you have an issue with internet.
Yeah, of course, you can share yours then.
No, my internet is good.
Yeah, perfect. And if you face any problems, I can share it from my end. Don't worry.
Okay,
I'll try
I'll just do one last time.
One last time and then I'll do it.
Can you see it now?
We see only the first one. Can you go to the second to see if it's moving? Oh, yeah.
Okay,
It's
perfect.
moving.
Yeah.
So maybe we should stay out of slideshow mode.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect.
Here
So
you go.
Thank you very much, everybody, joining this short session to try to really explain to you how to use SUNREF, the different part of SUNREF. We have one main part, which is the loan, but we have also a study fund. Marco will go in detail and will give you some more information on how to apply to the study fund. The study fund will help you to define energy efficiency project in buildings. And so the first part will be, we try to talk a little, I know that you are very knowledgeable in sustainability, but sustainability, it's way broader than energy efficiency. And in SUNREF, we focus mainly on energy efficiency. So we go firstly talking about energy efficiency, then I'll have to leave you, unfortunately. So maybe we do a short stop for some questions specifically on these parts, if there are any. And then Marco will go and explain to you how to use SUNREF to implement your energy efficiency project, thanks to the study fund, firstly, to make the analysis and to define your project, and then to finance the project through the SUNREF financing.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you, Marco. So what it is energy efficiency in building? What do, within SUNREF, what do we understand about energy efficiency in buildings? So, Marco, thank you. So, firstly, I'd like to explain to you how to approach energy efficiency. So energy efficiency is a reduction of energy consumption. It's an energy consumption, it's a final energy consumption that we are looking for. We are not looking for our supply side, we are only looking for our demand side. So how we do this? We first need to analyze what it's called here the base case. The base case is your building as it is. It can be a household, it can be work for with industry, it work for retail, it can work for any kind of building, hotel, everything. So first you need to understand which fuel are you consuming, how much, and when are you consuming this fuel. I mean, it's very, very important to understand which fuel are you consuming and when you are consuming this fuel. Do you have only electricity? Do you have electricity and fuel? Do you have gas oil? Do you have, I mean, you can have plenty of fuel. Then, knowing this, you have the equipment that uses energy to transform it in an end use energy that you need. Like, for instance, in this case, a water heater. The water heater transform, can we say, electricity to hot water. So you need to analyze and to understand which equipment you have to know their efficiency, to know how it's working, to know if it's broken, to know everything. And then you have to understand your end use. What do you need? Maybe you're producing water at 80 degrees, but you need it at 40 degrees. So you really need to understand what are your needs at the end. Or processes, it can work also, but really it's maybe more difficult to check and to really match the end use with the production. but usually it's what you need. It's a water, hot water. It's air that is cooled. It's or heat in winter, and this kind of thing. So first thing after to do how you approach the energy efficiency when you know all your base case is first you try to minimize your usage, which is a kind of can be really obvious. Sometimes it can be trickier at other time, but minimize your usage. For instance, switch off the lights at night when you are in the office, when you are not in the office. I mean, it's kind of really obvious, but there is plenty of small things to minimize your usage within the proposed case. Then you maximize the efficiency of the equipment that transforms the fuel that you have to the end use that you need. So for instance, for the light, you just change your bulbs, and instead of having incandescent, you change it for LED. Or you improve your motors, you improve your pumps, you improve your chiller. This is the maximize the efficiency of the equipment. And only then, when you minimize your usage, you maximize your efficiency, then you can optimize the supply, adding some renewable energy, checking exactly what you need to not oversize your system. Because for instance, if you size your PV system, which is really a common project now in Palestine, if you size your PV system before you do the minimizing of the usage and the maximizing of efficiency, you might oversize the PV and spend a lot of money on PV then after you will not need. So it's really important to follow these steps and really think of the energy efficiency project like this. Marco, please. So why do we do this? So it's eliminate waste. Eliminate waste is the first thing. Then it might affect the dimensioning of the conversion equipment, and also it reduces the supply capacity. So it's really important to first reduce waste, then improve its efficiency, and then you work on your supply capacity, mainly on renewable energy. Also, one important thing, it's a return on investment. In the return on investment, like in months, in year, it's better when you do waste reduction and efficiency improvement than when you do supply. Renewable energy systems are more expensive in general than the energy efficiencies that you can do in your building. Okay? Even you can have a lot of waste reduction with low or no cost associated. So the overall project can be more profitable. Marco, please. So within SUNREF, there is two types of energy efficiency project. I really like to focus on the first one, what we call high energy efficiency project. The high energy efficiency project follows a step that I show you. It's an old equipment, old building existing that is consuming too much energy. And thanks to a refurbishment, retrofit, replacement of equipment, and thinking with the steps that we take before, that I explained before, obtaining new consumption and reaching 20% of saving, you can apply to a SUNREF financing. Marco? Thank you. So the example are exactly everything. We can have a list, but it's almost everything that reduce your energy consumption of an existing building. There is a lighting, the HVAC system, the heating, ventilation, air conditioning system, the chillers, the motors, the pumps. You can add variable frequency drive of motor. You can even add energy management system. Everything is have the potential of financing under SUNREF if it's show a reduction of consumption within a building. Marco, thank you. So then we have the second one that I need to explain it to you, but I don't really we like to see it's more high investment energy project. This is a medium energy efficiency project. It's when we do it would work for a new building, for instance. It would work for new equipment, okay, like not replacement, which means that it is good to put a high efficient system when you build something, but the energy efficiency and really what is more important even for the society, it's really try to reduce what it is already consuming, because the consumption in Palestine, it's really high in buildings, and there is a huge potential of energy efficiency in building. So we would like really to see in the portfolio of the SUNREF plenty of energy efficiency projects that come from existing building, existing equipment that are replaced with new equipment that are more energy efficient, and thinking also about the waste to have a better return on investment on the projects. So the list of eligible energy efficiency projects that I told you, it's really broad, and it's almost everything that reduce energy consumption, within the building. It can go to building envelope, which I fully get that it might be more difficult to do because in general the investment are higher and the return on investment are really can be higher, but really domestic hot water, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, replacement of one type of fuel using another type of fuel. It can be even with a heat pump for replacing old equipment that do not work very well. A chiller or something, you can replace it with a heat pump and at the same time produce heat and cold. It can be really versatile. Energy management system, transformer, lighting installation. We can go on and on. Really, it's everything. So I mean, do not feel shy. Try to really put some energy efficiency project within, and we will analyze it. We will check if there is 20% energy saving, and it will be approved from a technical point of view. So what I'd like to talk a little bit more now, it's not really showing you examples of what it is energy efficiency in building, but it's more to show you the potential of the energy efficiency in building. Really, because sometimes we think, yeah, you just change one equipment, but it will not give you like a important impact on the fuel consumption, but yes, it will. So, Marco, so first of all, I'd like to show you some analysis that were made from a passive house. It's more for residential, but it can work for also office building or any kind of building. That
Yes, Amandine, I will try to put this one on big screen, on full screen.
Try.
Oh.
If I lose after the scroll, you go back.
Can you see the slide now?
No, not me, but maybe other people.
No difference. No, it's the same.
All right.
Yeah, go back to before.
I went back, yeah.
Thank you. So I know that it's a little bit tricky, but the thing is to see the 72%. The 72% here show like you have a building, old one, status quo, normal, that have a consumption, a cost per year, a square meter, which is a lot. It's more than 1,000 euro. It's, I don't know exactly where it is. It might be in Germany, but I mean, it's costing a lot. And then thanks to the passive house, meaning that it uses, thanks to architecture modification, shadings, envelope, insulation, natural ventilation, different kind of thing, you reduce by 72% the energy cost. Okay, the other are cost of maintenance, are cost of other things. But really, you see that there is a energy cost that is for, in this case, it's for heating, but I mean, it can be for cooling, that it reduced by 72%. It's a lot. And I know in Palestine, it would be more for cooling that it reduced 72%, but just by thinking of the building and maybe adding some shadings, adding some, you can have films on the window that works quite well on some facade that are the west facade that used to have overheating. Really, it's not a huge investment. We are not talking about redoing the whole building. We are really talking about doing adjustment that, of course, have a cost, initial cost when you do it, but are really worthwhile doing it and make it, the return on investment is quite quick. Then I'd like to talk to you about thermal insulation. The majority of the building worldwide are not well insulated. It's not something that is specific to Palestine. I lived in Canada and they are -30°, and the building are not well insulated because it's how you build, how you used to build it. You have plenty of things that come from also the skills and the knowledge of the construction company and the workshop that are working on this. It's difficult to change the mind of the people, so they do it as they did it before, and they do not use the old new materials that arrive. For instance, plenty of materials are available now in thermal insulation to also decrease the size of the insulation and to have really a high efficient insulation. If you have plenty of room, you can put a bigger one in size, like 20 centimeters, 10 centimeters. But it can also, if you don't have so much space, there is also thin one. It's really, there is plenty of possibility to put it inside, to put it outside, depending on the type of your building, depending on how it's easy to make it from a construction point of view. And usually you have payback between 4 to 15 years, depending on the annual energy requirement and the installation thickness. It's, when you think of a lifetime of building, which is usually 50 years, it's not so long, really. And the idea of the thinking of the step that I show you before, analysis, reducing the waste and so on, it's that you make an overall project of energy efficiency. And we know that thermal installation have a higher payback. It's not the best one. But if you blend it in a project with lighting, with air conditioning, it can really have an overall payback time like 5 years maybe for a building. It's really something that it's needed to be think from a general point of view, not to think only thermal insulation, not to think only shading, not to think only lighting, not to think only chiller. It's something that should be taken as an overall and should be analyzed in overall. And then you can select the thing that suits you better, because there is plenty, of course, there is plenty of barriers, plenty of things that to think about. Like, for instance, if you do thermal insulation, if you are people using the building, which is because it's an old building, it might affect the usage of the building. It is possible to affect the usage of the building for a few months? Yes, no, it's not possible. So you have to think to all of this, but still insulate your building. It's one good thing. You reduce a lot the energy demand of the air conditioning. Solar shading, really important. Here we have an example in UK. In UK there is no sun. In UK it's cold. In UK the weather, it's really bad. And even in the UK, you can reduce, really, by using external shading, you can reduce the running cost of your building, especially not housing because you don't have so much internal loads, but more offices, hospital, hotels, everything, by almost 50%, which is crazy. You can think how this can be adapted to Palestine just using some solar shading, external solar shadings that are designed specifically in function of the orientation of the facade. You don't do the same one for west facade, for east facade, than for south facade. And you adapt it and you have energy saving that can be really massive. And also, if you at the same time, you think a little bit of your windows, and you don't want to redo your windows because the window costs a lot this day, but you add a film of the window, which is not so much. And the overall thing can be really, in terms of cost, can be really good for the client, for the end user. Also, it gives you a lot of more comfort because you don't have direct sun coming into your eyes, and it's really more comfortable, and the sun don't go directly when you have sun within the building. It can be really overheating. So it's not only about cost, it's also about comfort, and it's the external shielding, even the internal shielding are something that can be easy to do. So it's something that you can think of it when you do the analysis. There is some, I do not go in details in this, but we are thinking with the building council to do some trainings. We will may be able to do some trainings specifically for passive and envelope, and how to design and how to calculate the saving related to solar shadings. So the operating costs, this is just a summary of everything. The operating costs and support are part of the building whole life cost. In general, the operating cost of a building represent 50%, 30 to 50% of the costs of during the life, 60 to 80%, sorry, of the life cost of the building. So it means, of course, you have a system acquisition at the beginnings that can have a huge cost, but what it is more expensive, it's how to operate the building. And of course, in the operation, you don't have only energy costs, but energy costs are part of it, but you have also maintenance costs. And to retrofit a building also, most of the time, reduce the maintenance costs, because you install new equipment. You don't have to repair so much. You install equipment with a longer lifetime than the older one. Like, for instance, clearly for lighting, the old system, you needed to replace bulb all the time. Now the LED have a lifetime of, it's multiplied by 5 almost, or even more compared to incandescent, even 10, 15 times. So really, you have to think not only on the cost of energy cost, direct cost, you have to think of the lifetime, the maintenance, and how your client, how you as maybe a client, you as a consultant, you as a provider can convince people to really think of more lifetime of a building. Building live generally, we count 50 years. 50 is a lot. You need to change equipment. The equipment, if you change it for high efficient equipment, the payback will be really quick, especially with the SUNREF financing. So going back a little bit more to Palestine, there is a huge potential in HVAC, what we call heating, ventilation, air conditioning. In this case, we call more about air conditioning, okay? You think that nowadays, essentially, the equipment that can be bought and can be bring in Palestine are, first of all, exactly the same that you can find in Europe or everywhere else. The market is fully open. And the energy efficiency of this system grow a lot each year. It means that each year there is equipment that are in the market that are more efficient than the year before. So you have to think that if you change an equipment that is almost at the end of, like, I'd say 10 years, if you change a chiller after 10 years, you can really have high efficient chiller now, and the costs can be, I know it's more expensive, but thanks to SUNREF, you can really have the grant, you can really have a good deal of it. So it's really the moment to really check the equipment that are coming to the end of life and put really high efficient one that will benefit for the client for the lifetime of the building, at least 15 years of the chiller time, and you will save energy directly, you will save on maintenance, and you will get a good financing option thanks to SUNREF. And this is what I told you before. Think a little bit broader, think a little bit, not just one element, but everything. Because thanks to, this is an analysis done by the Department of Energy in the US. Here, this shows that the primary energy, it's in a strange unit, but still, it's a stock efficiencies that they have in the US. And if you apply the window, if you change the window, if you insulate the roof and the floor, if you reduce infiltration, usually when you do the window in the insulation, you reduce infiltration, and you improve at the end the efficiency equipment, you can reduce by 61%. In a residential building, and in a commercial building it's even more, and the commercial building consume more. So it means that you have a gain, a higher gain from this, especially in this case for lightings, also windows, HVAC control, and HVAC equipment. Okay, so think broad, think of different energy efficiency measures that can together arrive to a really high energy efficiency and with a really low return on investments. So now I just show you some example and thing. Now I'd just like to make a quick part of the presentation about what the information that we need as technical assistant of the SUNREF to be able to analyze and validate the approach that you've chosen for your project, and validate mainly the 20% of energy saving or 20% of GHG emission reduction that come from your energy efficiency projects. So first of all, what we need, it's a general description of the facility. It's exactly what I explained to you at the beginning. It's the first step, it's a baseline, or what we call it a baseline. So we need to understand what it is, a facility, if it's a residential building, hotel, hospital, office building, what are the energy consumption and costs, what the current tariff structure, the current activity level, a little bit the equipment related to the energy efficiency project. Of course, we don't need to know, like, if there is lift and usually there is no much energy efficiency with the lift, so we don't need to know the lift. Or if there is like plenty of computer, but you will not change the computer, there is nothing related to this. Do not really, we don't need to have details on this, but we just need to understand and see what are the system in place that will be affected by the energy efficiency projects. Then you need to explain what is an energy efficiency project. In this case, we need a detailed description of the existing equipment to be replaced. I mean, data sheet, usually it's very complicated to have, but picture of the nameplate. Sometimes the nameplate is, you cannot see it, but at least picture of the equipment from different sides. And some hypothesis on on the nameplate, on the data sheet that was used and on the equipment. And then we need to see, in this case, the data sheet of the proposed efficient equipment. Exactly. And also the cost breakdown with the price offer. Because we need to analyze and see, we will check if the price offer is within the range of the market. We will check if the equipment, the proposed equipment is high efficient enough, and we will check all of this. Marco, thank you. Thanks to all of this, we will also calculate. So all what we need, it's available in an energy audit. So I explained in the last session that we had with, and Wijdan told me that they're already training about energy audits, so I will not go in detail, but an energy audit, you will get all the information that it is needed, mainly from ourselves, the technical assistants, to validate the technical feasibility and the technical applicability of your project within SUNREF. So you have all these steps, and of course, in this case, you don't need, you need to select. In this case, we recommend measure. In the case for SUNREF, you need also to select the measure and provide the cost related to the measure. We don't need the full report. So how to finance an energy audit? Two things. You have your own client that can finance. You can also, I didn't put this option. You can, in some business model, you can give it for free if you want, if you know that you will implement then the energy efficiency project. And after, you have the SUNREF study fund that will be presented by Marco within a few minutes. So I just like to stop here and see, Wijdan, if there is any question, because unfortunately I have to leave because I have things to do in Kosovo, and unfortunately Marco is not. Is a good energy efficiency, but is not engineer. So maybe if there is more technical question, I can answer it now.
تمام. Let me
Of course.
a few words in Arabic. طيب يا جماعة، هلا اللي عملته أماندين إن هي عمليا شرحت قديش في اهتمام بموضوع الانرجي افشنسي في هاي المرحله من سانريف. مش يعني انه مش رح يعطوا رينيوبل انرجي، بس هلا رح يشرح ماركو التفاصيل اكثر على الكيفيه يعني، بس هم قلبوا البرزنتيشن هلا عشان هي مستعجله انها تروح. فهي شرحت ايش يعني انرجي افشنسي، شو اللي بتوقعوا يلاقوه، شو الدوكيومنتس اللي هم بتوقعوها منك، علشان لما انت تروح تطلب هذا القرض تقدم هاي الوراق عشان هم يراجعوها ويعطوا الاوكي. هم بالاخر اللي بيراجعوا الدوكيومنتس وبيعطوا الاوكي على هاي المشاريع. بالاخر ذكرت انه SUNREF ستادي فند يعني هي كمان زي نوع من الفند عشان تعمل الدراسه، تساعدك انك تعمل الدراسه عشان يكتشفوا قديش تقدر تعمل توفيرات لقدام. فهذه في امكانيه كمان لما تقدم في SUNREF تسال عن موضوع الستادي فند، مش بس انك تاخذ القرض للشغل تبعك. هلا اللي بحب يسال في خيارين للي بحب يسال، يا اما you can write down the question in the chat box or you can choose the reactions. في الرياكشنز عندك في شيء اسمه raise hand. سو اللي بده يسال السؤال بالانجليزي بفضل انه يعمل raise hand، فاحنا بنعطيه الشانس انه يسال سؤاله لأماندين. رح نعطي لك اقل من 5 دقائق، less than 5 minutes for the Q&A because Amandine needs to leave. تمام؟ But if you want to write down your question in the chat box either in English or in Arabic, we can read it and translate it for Amandine. تمام؟ Okay. If you can, Marco, if you can unshare for now, just to give the chance to the Q&A, just if you have any questions.
So I saw there is one question of how you can apply. Marco will go in details on how you can apply, what are the processes and which bank are involved and how you can do it. I don't know if the other are question in Arabic.
Okay, Sari. Sari Saada, go ahead. Sari, then Ahmed.
I just want to thank Amandine and Marco. I have no question more than the last time. So just thanking you both. We're starting by our client preparing for existing projects. I hope at the soonest we will apply it through one of the banks in the program. And let us see you next time you're in Palestine. Thank you so much, Amandine.
Thank you, Sari. Yeah, we will be really welcome to see one of your projects coming. Yeah. Ahmad, yeah?
Yes. Good morning, all. I am Ahmed Shtayem. I am a specialist in green building. I would like to thank you for this magnificent presentation. But I have a note that you are focusing on the equipment, but I think focusing on the envelope of the building, it's more important in order to make an more efficiency building. As if we have increasing the insulation for the facade, for the windows, maybe shading, this will minimize using more equipment or regarding the heating, HVAC systems, and also the lighting. So I see that the funding focuses only on the equipment.
No, it's not what I
slide.
said. I said everything that reduce energy consumption. And I really make my presentation on insulation, shadings, and all the things. So it's really applicable.
Great. So if so you can't fund if a client would like to change the facade or put more insulation, everything. So you are open, because I think in the last program I have applied for it, and they told me we are focusing only on the solar panels. And you can't apply for the insulation. And
sincerely, I didn't know the last, but do not talk about the past. Talk about the future.
The future.
And the future, if you prove that you're reducing the consumption by 20% of the building, insulation, it's very welcome. It's why I explain as an energy efficiency consultant, I'd like to see a comprehensive project tackling the envelope, tackling the energy demand, reducing the waste, and then putting higher efficient equipment. First, you need to reduce the waste. Reducing the waste is, as you said, working with the envelope.
Okay, great. Regarding the financial issues, the funding, it will be 100% or 20%?
Marco will go very in detail in a few minutes with it.
Okay.
You can ask him after. You're welcome.
Thank you.
I think I want to add to Ahmed's question. I think maybe you were concentrating on the existing buildings. He's running a new building. He would like to take in the new building all these considerations of the installation.
It can work. Yeah. Of course, it can work.
Great.
It's why I said it will not get the high efficiency 20% grant. It will get less. It will get, because it will be considered medium, because everything that is new is considered medium. But of course, if there is no problem, and it's also very welcome to have new buildings that are like passive house or passive building. Yeah, very welcome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Tamam. Yazan?
Good morning, Ostam. Good morning, Amanda. I would like to ask a question. First, thank you for the presentation. I would like to ask about the materials that recommended to be used. For example, if we want to change or to add the insulation material for the building, is there a certain type of insulation material that we should use? For example, there are some materials that are not environmental friendly. So
yeah, I understand what you mean. In this case, we do not look at sustainability. We only look at energy efficiency. So you can use whatever you want. We know that we don't look at embodied energy and embodied environmental impact of the equipment that are funded under SUNREF. So it can be everything. So, but if after you can sell it to your clients, that is even more environmental after, it's good also for us. I mean, it's even better. But from a technical point of view, we only look at energy consumption that is consumed within the building.
Okay, one more thing is that I remember the first SUNREF, I saw a file, an Excel file that has, for example, if you want to use renewable energy, there are a list of solar panels.
It's the limit list.
Is there an Excel file for this? No?
No, you can use whatever you want, because we look at energy efficiency, because we can say like you use this insulation, but after this insulation might not be appropriate for this kind of building, or you don't put enough. So it's really more, this is why I think, this is why I focused on the energy audit. I think having an energy audit would help us, even a kind of energy audit for new building. It's like, it's more an analysis, but I mean, we need energy analysis of building through, this is why also I propose to Wijdan to do some presentation and training about some software tools, everything that you can use to calculate the energy savings.
So you recommend some software tools, energy performance software, for
you
example?
Can use whatever you want. If you know one, you can use whatever you want. We know some that are very inexpensive and useful, so you can use this one, but you can use the one that you want. We will accept any. If you even Excel sheet work for us. It's complicated to work with Excel sheet and envelope, but if you have something, it will work for us.
If you have all the data, yes, you can do it on it.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Tamam. I will go through some questions over the chat box. Actually, this is not a very clear question to me, but I will read it. So maybe Mr. AS, the name is not clear, can explain a little bit more. He said, I have a question related to the saving percentage of energy efficiency projects, 20%. Do you have a threshold for the saving in kilowatt hour, as some intervention could be 5 to 10% saving, but it would save a huge energy compared with project save 20% of the consumption?
I understand the question. It means that sometimes, because the project is so big, you can have 5% of energy savings, and it's more than in other project 20%. I agree with this, but it's not working like this. We need 20% is the threshold that we have in SUNREF. It's not an amount of kilowatt hour. It's really a percentage compared to the baseline, compared to the the future project. So it's the threshold is really 20%. We need to prove 20% saving, even if it's a really huge project, and it's like really huge building, like a mall or something, and it's reduced 5%, and it's a lot more than a small office, like of 3-story and some. But we need the 20% to be financed under SUNREF.
Okay, so the 20% is and I want to add, I think, to that the 20% is the cumulative, with the many items that you might add to the building. So insulation, window replacement,
everything,
or shading. If a cumulative, collectively could contribute to the 20%. So it's not only one item.
Exactly. No, it's not, of course.
Yeah. Another question about the BMS and the smart homes. Are they considered part of the energy efficiency tool?
If you can prove us somehow that it will reduce the energy consumption, it can be, of course. The energy management system, we know that the range of reduction, we might discuss this, and it depends of the building, and if the building has already one and it's an improved one, it's a discussion that we can have. But the range, generally, we talk about up to 10%. To be conservative, we have to be somehow conservative because we don't know so much. But a smart home BMS with additional thing, as Wisdom said, like some replacement envelope and so on, of course, it will be accepted under SUNREF.
Okay, Mr. Muhammad Hamad saying that energy efficiency is a huge field and contain many branches. And he thinks that you should have like some kind of referral document or material.
There is plenty in the literature. I think it's not our job to do this. I think, and of course, each program has its own definition of energy efficiency. Now, what we explained to you, it's what it is validated under SUNREF. It's not the same. Each program does not have the same application, do not have the same view on the energy efficiency. What we explain here is what are the view and what it is applicable under SUNREF. So I mean, after I agree, it's a huge field, it contains many branches. There is plenty of good documents on internet from the International Energy Agency, plenty of things. Even from GI, that we could do literature, but I mean, it's so specific. I'm sure you have also plenty of good reference within Palestine. Then I think the question will go more with Marco explanation. So I think I will let the floor to Marco. I will thank you so much, Wisdan, for the organization. And I hope to see you again, or remotely, or in real life in Palestine. And I will say you bye-bye. So, okay, Marco?
Thanks, Amandine.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Take care. You too.
Bye-bye.
Okay, I will refer the rest of the questions to Marco.
Yeah, it's more
okay, thanks, Amandine. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, Marco, one of the questions was about biogas, if it's applicable by SUNREF.
It is. It is absolutely
Perfect.
applicable, yes.
Okay, Mr. Ahmed mentioned that that they produce the gypsum blocks, and last time the program at the first phase, they were informed that SUNREF cannot support, but can support the clients who use these products, the energy efficiency products, the gypsum blocks. His question is why the program cannot support the manufacturer for energy efficiency products, or if he understand that wrong.
No, he understood it right. We only can support projects that directly reduce energy. I mean, that investments that lead to measurable energy savings. That's why those who are using energy efficiency materials for their investment projects are eligible, but those that produce those materials are not eligible, because we have to associate the investment with measurable amount of energy reduction.
So, Mr. Ahmed, they need to prove that the loan that you are taking will end up reducing energy efficiency in the building that you are using the money for. Exactly. So I think what they are proposing is that you might be able to have a loan for reducing your consumption in the factory. But for your clients, if they can prove that your blocks can reduce the energy consumption in their homes, they can directly use the money to buy your product. So then let's continue with Marco's presentation. You can share again your.
Let me share again my screen. Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
I will switch to full screen mode. Let's see if it works. Can you see it?
I think the problem is that when you pick, there are many options when you pick the share screen option. I think you should use the top left option.
For the share screen?
Yeah, share screen, and then when you share the screen, there will be many options for many screens, but if you choose the top left one that to share all your screens, then
All right.
try this one now.
I will try with this one then. Yeah, because I'm only sharing one presentation.
Yeah.
So you can see my screen now.
Try it now. If you can try to. Yes, now it's working.
All right. So that was the trick.
If you go next, maybe let's see if it's stuck or it will move to the next slide. Perfect. No, yeah, perfect. It's moving. Yeah.
Great. Okay. So now, as Amandine mentioned, SUNREF is, of course, the major pillar of the program. Is a financial mechanism, credit line, combined with some investment grant component. But apart from this, we have the technical assistance, and we have the study fund of a SUNREF. That's basically an account full of 300,000 euros, which is made available by the European Union and Proparco to help project developers and project owners to offset the upfront cost of their projects, costs that are associated with the preparation of technical feasibilities, of technical design drawings, of legal or financial analysis of their project. Because everyone knows that sometimes energy efficiency investments are being abandoned due to the high upfront costs that precede the actual implementation of the project. And for that very reason, the SUNREF has put aside these 300,000 euros to pay for such studies. Now, this study fund can be available for projects that are meeting the eligibility criteria of SUNREF, but not necessarily to projects that are applying for a SUNREF loan. So as long as the project is in line with the SUNREF overarching objectives and eligibility criteria, it can get support under the study fund, even if the project owner is not planning to apply for a SUNREF loan. So now we can only support technical feasibility studies or financial or legal feasibility studies for projects with investment cost exceeding the equivalent of 200,000 euros. So for small scale investments, this study fund is not available. The SUNREF study fund can finance up to 100% of the technical or financial or legal feasibility study cost, but not more than 100,000 euro per project. 100,000 euro is a very high amount. Our idea under SUNREF2 is actually to support a multitude of small technical feasibility studies and to actually support the development of the local technical ecosystem by assigning technical feasibilities mostly to local experts. So small energy audits, technical feasibilities, technical drawings will be assigned to local experts to support local investments. So basically, we can support technical feasibilities or feasibility studies for energy efficiency, renewable energy projects, or projects related to positive environmental impact, which are owned or implemented by companies, by local Palestinian companies that meet the European Union SME definition. So large-scale companies, big corporate companies cannot benefit from the SUNREF study fund. To qualify as an SME under the European Union definition means that a company should have less than 250 employees and either less than 50 million euros or equivalent in other currency of annual turnover, or less than 43 million euros in total assets. So that pretty much covers 99% of the companies in Palestine. So to get support from the study fund, the project has to be innovative, high impact, or high visibility one. So we make sure that by supporting one or two projects, we can spread the word to many such projects across Palestine. We can show the financial or technical viability of such projects, or the project must have a very high replication potential. So by just supporting one or two feasibility studies, we can spur investments in many projects. What can the SUNREF feasibility study fund support is, of course, different types of energy audits, investment grade, detailed energy audits. We can support the preparation of technical feasibility studies, financial analysis, business plan preparation, legal assessment, development of power purchase agreements, all sorts of legal services related to energy efficiency, renewable energy, or environmental investment. Of course, detailed engineering drawings, detailed technical studies related to such investments are also eligible for SUNREF study fund support. Market studies for different type of energy efficiency or renewable energy technologies, environmental, social impact assessment studies are also eligible for support under the study fund of SUNREF. So if you have a project idea, if you have a project that you want to implement at some point, but you need a technical or financial or legal feasibility study to start your investment, you can contact us. And of course, if your project's future investment cost exceeds 200,000 euros and is in line with the objectives of the SUNREF program, we can eventually procure the services of technical expert and grant you the support under the study fund. All right, I see a couple of questions maybe in the chat box. No, that's not questions. Okay, just comments. So now I will again go through the features and the requirements and the processes, the operational processes of SUNREF2 to present the program to you, and again encourage you to bring in projects for financing. The problem is that I cannot move my slides. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Unfortunately, I will have to stop and start sharing again because something happened and I got stuck. No.
You can exit the slideshow mode, or do you want me to share it from my end,
Let me. I don't know what happened, but it's not moving. I only can stop. Let me go back.
Okay.
Sharing. All right. If I do it like this.
Okay, it's working.
Okay. Is it working now? All right.
Yeah.
Let me try to go. Can you see it now in full screen?
Not in full screen, but we can see it.
All right. All right. So the SUNREF2 is actually the descendant of SUNREF1, which was a quite successful financial mechanism for supporting renewable energy and energy efficiency projects in Palestine. So now SUNREF2 is another financial mechanism. It's actually a blended financial mechanism, including a credit line provided from Proparco to Palestinian partner banks. The new credit line is in total amount of $55 million. For example, for comparison, the first SUNREF was composed of a credit line with total amount of 25 million euros. So now we have double this, almost double the SUNREF1 amount. This credit line is complemented to embark on a blended finance approach. It's complemented by an investment grant in total amount of 8.5 million euros and technical assistance support in amount of approximately 2.5 million euros, including the study fund money. So That's how you get the blended financial mechanism. You get a loan, and to support the financial viability of your investments, you get a grant, a financial rebate that you receive after your project is successfully implemented. So generally, SUNREF2 is partnership between the European Union, which is providing the technical assistance money and the investment grant money, and Proparco, which is the originator of the program and which provides the credit line to the partner banks. So now we have the same partner banks as under SUNREF1. So this is Cairo Amman Bank and Bank of Palestine. Bank of Palestine gets a $30 million credit line from Proparco, and Cairo Amman Bank gets $25 million credit line. But this time, we have two Islamic banks included in the program, not as partner bank, but as affiliated Islamic partners. We call them affiliated Islamic partner institutions. So this is Safa Bank, which is affiliated to Cairo Amman Bank, and Arab Islamic Bank, which is the partner to Bank of Palestine. So apart from borrowing money from Bank of Palestine and Cairo Amman, clients from Palestine can also apply for SUNREF financing through Safa and the Arab Islamic Bank, and they will get the same. Of course, they'll get the same benefits. I don't know if they're getting the same financial conditions, but surely they're going to benefit from the technical assistance, and they're going to benefit from the same investment grant as Bank of Palestine and Cairo Amman Bank's customers. So we have a new investment focus, a new support focus under SUNREF2, slightly different than SUNREF1. First and foremost, all sectors, all economic sectors and beneficiary types in Palestine are...
Marco, the slide is still at the 27.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it now 28?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was saying that all companies and beneficiaries from all sectors in Palestine, all economic sectors in Palestine are eligible. There is no limitation towards specific sectoral types or specific geographies. But the focus now falls more towards energy efficiency projects. That's why I told you in the beginning of the session, we had plenty of renewable energy projects under SUNREF1. Now we would like to see more energy efficiency investments supported under SUNREF2. That's why you will see later on that we are offering higher investment grant amounts to energy efficiency projects. And as Amandine already mentioned several times, energy efficiency investments are oftentimes associated with higher payback periods, with higher return on investment rates. So energy efficiency is oftentimes overlooked by investors, but it's much more profitable than renewable energy projects. So this time we want to see more energy efficiency projects. The support goes entirely to small and medium-sized enterprises in Palestine this time. During SUNREF1, we could offer financing and investment grant to large corporate clients, to large companies. Now we can only provide credit, we can only provide loan financing to large corporates, but we cannot provide investment grant to such big companies. So the investment grant is entirely reserved to small and medium-sized enterprises and private individuals. Again, as I mentioned when I was talking about the study fund, a small and medium-sized enterprise means a company that has less than 250 employees and either less than 50 million euros equivalent of annual turnover or less than 43 million euros in total assets. That's what SME under the European Union definition means. And of course, SUNREF2 is focusing on what we call vulnerable geographies, areas like Gaza Strip, East Jerusalem, and Area C. projects that are implemented in those areas will benefit from higher investment premium, higher investment grant. So the total duration of the credit of the SUNREF2 credit line that is signed between Proparco and Bank of Palestine and Cairo Amman Bank is 8 years, but we have a very short window to disburse this credit line in full. So we only have until September next year to disburse or commit projects in total amount of $55 million. So we have to act really quickly. Okay, can you see now slide 30?
Yes.
I hope so. Okay, so the eligible projects under SUNREF2 are totally the same as they have been under SUNREF1 with several small exemptions. But generally, renewable energy projects are eligible under SUNREF2. All types of renewable energy projects, and when I say renewable energy, I don't only refer to production of electricity from renewable sources. I refer to all types of energy, meaning steam, heat, cooling energy, and electricity. So we can, of course, we can support solar photovoltaic types of projects, wind turbines, biomass and biogas production of energy from biomass and biogas. I think that again answers the question that we saw in the chat box. Geothermal projects, all types of projects that are really related to production of any sort of energy from renewable sources is generally eligible for SUNREF support. We can support different type of connections, so utility scale, large scale projects based on power purchase agreement, net metering, off-grid projects are all welcome for SUNREF support. Now, Amandine already spoke about this. Of course, we can finance energy efficiency, and we would like to actually finance more energy efficiency projects. So those are projects that are leading to measurable reduction of the overall energy intensity, be it in a building or industrial or agricultural process. So we distinguish between 3 general groups of energy efficiency projects for the needs of SUNREF. Buildings retrofit, as we already spoke a lot about, so building envelope, building systems, HVAC, lighting systems in building, everything is eligible as long as they achieve 20% savings. Replacement and modernization of industrial and agricultural machinery, retrofit of such machinery is also eligible as energy efficiency project. And fuel switch projects, switching from dirtier to cleaner fuels, is also considered energy efficiency under SUNREF2, and even projects related to fuel switch in transportation are eligible. So if you want to buy electric car or hybrid car, that can be considered fuel switch energy efficiency project under SUNREF, and it can get financed. We got a question, but maybe we should run to the end of presentation and then have a Q&A session. So again, Amandine mentioned this. When it comes to energy efficiency, we're going to distinguish between high efficiency energy efficiency projects and medium efficiency projects. So high efficiency are those projects that are primarily induced by the need to reduce energy consumption in a building or in an agricultural or industrial process. So these are projects related to retrofit or replacement of energy or fuel consuming equipment. They lead to substantial energy savings, and they will be awarded higher investment grants. Then the medium efficiency projects are those projects that still lead to measurable savings, but are triggered by other needs and other reasons. So for example, you want to replace an existing production line, because the new production line can produce more units of product, or can produce longer hours, but it is more efficient. That will be considered medium efficiency. It will get lower investment grant. If you want to change your car from a diesel car to electric vehicle, obviously the primarily aim of this project is not energy saving, but having a new and more luxurious car. But it saves energy, it's more clean, so it will be considered medium efficiency project. Well, again, Amandine spoke about this. To be considered eligible under the SUNREF program, energy efficiency projects should result in at least 20% reduction in the overall energy consumption when we have an existing building or existing machinery, or when we speak about production expansion or production capacity expansion projects, when you want to buy a new production line without replacing the existing one, this new production line should at least use 20% or less energy per unit of production to be deemed eligible for SUNREF. And for fuel switching projects, where sometimes the energy consumption rates remain the same, we need to demonstrate at least 20% reduction in the greenhouse gas emissions to consider those projects eligible for SUNREF support. And because SUNREF can also finance household appliances, we can only finance Class A energy rated appliances in Palestine. So if you're planning to buy a new refrigerator or a new AC unit or new dishwasher, you can consider that you are eligible to get a loan from Bank of Palestine, Cairo Bank, Arab Islamic, or Safa Bank, and get investment grant if you buy a Class A product. And again, we can also finance projects that have positive environmental impact, projects that are related to pollution abatement, to efficient water use, to management of waste and chemicals, and all sorts of projects that are improving somehow, again, in measurable way, the overall environment in Palestine can be eligible. We need to demonstrate at least 20% greenhouse gas emission reduction or 20% reduction in water waste or water use in such projects. So there are some limitations when it comes to the financial structure of SUNREF. We can only finance projects with maximum loan amount of $7.5 million, which is a lot. Of course, the total investment amount of the project can be higher than this, but we can only provide a SUNREF loan up to $7.5 million. The overall exposure that the two partner banks, together with their respective affiliated Islamic partners, can open towards power purchase agreement type of projects is up to $12 million cumulatively. So, for example, Bank of Palestine and Arab Islamic Bank already even exceeded this threshold, so they cannot allocate more power purchase agreement based projects. The idea, this limitation has been imposed by Proparco and the European Union. The overall idea is to support a smaller scale projects, renewable energy on net metering or energy efficiency. We don't want to disburse the full amount of the credit line or large scale PPA based renewable energy projects. So that's why we have limited up to 12 million per partner bank. Now, the loan currency provided by the banks to end beneficiaries, to end customers, can come in any currency, but because the credit line between Proparco and the partner banks has been signed in US dollars, we expect that most of the loans extended by the partner banks will also be denominated in dollars. Now, the equity contribution, someone asked about this, I think Ahmad was that. So the equity contribution from the borrower, there is no limitation. The banks can eventually finance up to 100% of the eligible cost of a single project, but they have to demonstrate to Proparco that they have raised additional money from the borrowers. So on total portfolio level, they have to demonstrate 20-30% equity contribution from the borrowers. So generally, it will totally be different from project to project. Some projects will get 100% financing from the banks. Other projects will probably be required up to 50% equity contribution. That will be decided between the bank and the borrower. And I guess it will depend on the credibility, on the creditworthiness of the specific borrowers. The loan duration of SUNREF loans cannot be less than 3 years. So you cannot sign for less than 3 years with the partner banks. The only exception will be made for household appliances loan. So if you as private individuals want to sign a loan contract and buy a new refrigerator, for example, you can only sign a contract with minimum duration of 12 months. The grace period on principal for those loans can be as long as 3 years, but of course the banks are defining and deciding on the duration of the grace period depending on the expected project implementation period. The loan repayment plan, again, that's something that the repayment schedule of the SUNREF loans, this is something that is going to be decided and agreed upon between the bank and the borrower. It will greatly depend on the expected payback period of each project. The loan pricing, well, that's something that's within bank's discretion. The banks will decide again depending on the level of credit risk that each borrower carries, but the banks are prevented to overcharge borrowers. So just because they offer investment grant, they cannot charge higher interest rate. So they will have to apply the average interest rate they are applying for same types of customers. So you can be sure that your SUNREF will come on the average market rates, but you will be entitled to get this investment grant. So it is very important to almost every beneficiary of SUNREF, how much investment grant will I get if I successfully implement my project? So you can see here, this is the table with the investment grant breakdown by different types of projects and different types of borrowers. So renewable energy projects, because I already told you, we would like to support more energy efficiency projects. That's why the renewable energy projects will be getting, be it on net metering, off-grid basis, or power purchase agreement, they will be getting up to 10% of the loan amount as investment grant. Now, the energy efficiency investments will be greatly rewarded. The high efficiency projects will get up to 20%. The medium efficiency projects will be getting 15% grant. And the energy efficiency projects for private individuals, those highly efficient household appliances, will be giving you up to 10% investment grant. Now, the environmental type of projects, those projects that are related to pollution abatement or water efficiency or waste management, because they are not very financially attractive, they are entitled to receiving up to 30% investment grant. And projects, all types of eligible projects in vulnerable geographies such as Gaza, Area C on the West Bank, and East Jerusalem will be getting up to 25% and energy efficiency investments for private individuals living in Gaza, Area C, or East Jerusalem can get as high as 15% of the loan amount. Now, some customers will be able to get a bonus additional to the normal investment grant. So companies that are meeting the Palestinian definition of SME. So these are really small Palestinian companies with less than $2 million in annual turnover and less than 50 employees. They can get additional 5% investment grant for specific project types. So small Palestinian companies that are investing in net metering projects will get 5% additional bonus and will end up with 15% total of investment grant for their projects. 5% additional bonus will be also awarded to small Palestinian SMEs that are implementing energy efficiency, high efficiency, and medium efficiency projects in the West Bank. So in the end of the day, an energy efficiency project, high energy efficiency project implemented by a small Palestinian company with less than $2 million of annual turnover and less than 50 people on its payroll will get up to 25% investment grant, which is pretty attractive. And again, to save the investment grant envelope for as many projects as possible, the European Union and Proparco decided to put a cap, a maximum amount that a single beneficiary or a single project can receive as investment grant. So no more than 500,000 euros will be awarded to a single project or to a single beneficiary for multiple projects. So even if you have a $5 million project that can get 25% bonus, the maximum amount of investment grant you will receive is 500,000 euros. That has been done to preserve the available money for mostly small and medium-sized companies and private individuals in Palestine. Again, we didn't want to absorb the full envelope of investment grant to just a small number of very large projects. So that's pretty much about it. Now we can maybe have a short Q&A session because I see in the chat box we get some.
Yes, let us go through the chat box. So, yeah. Energy cost. Okay, so someone asked where they can get the application form. I think that was a private message. I think you should go to your bank and ask about SUNREF coordinators, and then you can follow up. You can take it from there. I'm not sure if they are.
Absolutely. The application for SUNREF goes through the partner bank. So you should go to Bank of Palestine, Cairo Amman Bank, Arab Islamic, or Safa Bank, and ask for their SUNREF coordinators, because they have to inform us. They first do like an initial bankability check before sending us the application. But I can also send you the SUNREF technical application form just for your information, and Wijnan, I can do that through you if that's
Sure.
okay. Excellent.
We have the contacts of all the participants, so we can share the form if you have it, and maybe the slides if you.
I will send you the slides also. Yes.
We do have them. You have sent them.
These are slightly modified. This version.
We just need your permission to share them. Perfect. So another question is, okay, so some people ask about, you know, that you have skipped some pages. He did, yes, he wanted to skip those pages.
No, yeah, I skipped them because they're not that important, but you'll get them in the slides.
We will share the slides with you.
Yes. These were slides related to the, for example, SUNREF has a list of activities and project types that are prohibited for support
Yeah.
I just wanted to save some time, but these are generally activities related to production and trade in weapons and ammunitions,
Oh,
in hard liquor, hard alcohol,
okay.
activities related to use of child labor, and
Perfect.
just those are projects that you never encounter in Palestine, so it's okay.
Inshallah. Mr. Usama Ghali, I think it is important to fill the energy cost or savings in the structure application for funding solar system, or is it? I think it's a question. And energy cost reduction measures, should we fill these sections?
No, actually not. The structured application for SUNREF consists of 4 pages, now 5 with the household appliances. So you have a separate page for energy efficiency projects and separate one for renewable energy projects. So if you only apply with energy efficiency, you don't have to fill out the page that is called for renewable energy, and vice versa. If you have a renewable energy project, you don't have to fill out the energy efficiency sheet.
Okay. Ms. Tuqa asked, do you have an idea what is the minimum attractive rate of return to these banks require? From my experience, I think each bank will give you their offer. But if you have a preferred bank, or you maybe, if you don't have, if none of them is your bank, you might pay a visit and check with them what is their requirements. But I'm not sure if there is some specific rate of return.
No, they are absolutely. It would depend. It would greatly depend on the project type, and of course, they assess the financial viability of the project and the bankability of the client. So a lower rate of return of the project can be compensated by a strong financial position of the borrower for the bank. So they don't apply a strict threshold when it comes to the rate of return. From my experience in Palestine, the rate of return in renewable energy and energy efficiency projects is very high because of the very high cost of energy. So the banks are pretty okay. The payback periods are rather short when financing such projects. So they're pretty much okay with the rate of return of the project. So it will greatly depend on the financial strength of the borrower.
Okay. Mr. Helmi said, I'm not sure if it's a note or a question. He said like 10% for PPA system, it's low percentage. Okay, that would make maybe more people eligible for the fund.
Yes, that was the overall idea, because PPA projects are usually being implemented by huge companies, by very bankable companies or affluent private individuals. So the idea of SUNREF is actually to support smaller companies or projects that would not normally get bank financing. That's why we have this investment grant component to render the investments more financially attractive and more bankable, more appealing for the banks. So that's why we don't need to support that many PPA systems. We want to support more smaller scale, decentralized production or distributed production of energy. PPAs will leave them to large scale companies that can get access to bank financing anyhow.
Okay. Shadha Musallam, who will be approved to conduct the energy audit to validate the applications or the applicant's compliance with project requirements and energy efficiency criteria? Is it PENRA, a team, or private companies or freelancers?
Everyone will be welcome. Of course, I mean, that's something we should still think on, but maybe we will launch like a call, so everyone who is certified as energy audit or has obtained some sort of certification training can apply and be just added to the list. So then once we get an application for support, we'll be procuring the services of those people or companies from this list. Of course, we know the capabilities of the Pendra team. They are well certified, so they will also be part of this list. So yeah, we are going to probably launch like a call for experts at some point.
Okay, Mr. Habib Slaby said that he said that please note that for the Bank of Palestine staff, they informed that only for companies' proposed projects, and that he applied for house solar system, but they refused to fill the application.
Yes, that's the difference between SUNREF1 and SUNREF2. Now, under SUNREF1, we could finance household solar photovoltaic systems. Under SUNREF2, we can only finance energy efficiency projects for households and private individuals. That's the problem. So yeah, they cannot. I mean, they were right to refuse this because it's ineligible. I cannot comment on this decision, why it has been made. It was the decision of the European Union. They decided to leave solar photovoltaics for households and private individuals out of the eligibility for SUNREF2.
One of the participants did not get when you mentioned that the renewable energy will cost $1,400,000, what would you fund it for? How much would you fund it, the percentage? They did not get that example, Mr. Helmi.
Come again? So
The
if a
renewable
project
energy project,
yes,
no, he did not mention if it's a renewable or not. If a project would cost like $1,400,000, what would you support with?
Yes. Well, as I said, it will greatly depend on the bank. So generally, the bank can finance up to 100% on a project basis. So for a separate project, they can finance 100%. So they can finance up to 1,400,000. But on a portfolio, on a SUNREF portfolio level, the banks will need to demonstrate to Proparco that they have mobilized private funds in amount of about 20%. So generally, the banks will ask every borrower to provide about 20% as equity stake. So in this case, I would assume that the bank will ask for about 280,000 euros dollars from the borrower and will finance with a loan the rest of the project cost. So you can consider 80%.
Yeah, I will explain that in Arabic, guys. يا جماعة انتوا البنك بتقدم انت على قرض، هو بيقدر بالقانون بالسنرف انه يدعم لك 100%، يعني $1,400,000 تقدر تاخذهم قرض من سنرف، فيش مشكلة. ولكن بعض البنوك وبيعتمد على قوتك عند البنك برضه. بعض البنوك بيفترضوا عليك انك تحط 15 أو 20% من قيمة المشروع كمساهمة منك. هذا سنرف ما مجبرينك، هم بيقدروا يمولوا لك 100% من المشروع. بس في البنوك سياساتها مرات تختلف، بقول لك لا بدك تحط مساهمه او بيحجزوا لك مبلغ معين بالبنك على اساس يضل زي نوع من السيفتي، نوع من الامان، يعني لهم انه اذا ما سددت بيسدوا منه مثلا. طيب انوار, thank you for the presentation. Anwar, you're welcome. Mr. Ahmed, can we contact Marco for additional questions? Or would you prefer Marco to share your contacts, or would you prefer that they would contact their banks and then you can?
You can, of course, you can contact me for more details. If you don't have my email, which Dan will share. If we have some issues with the partner banks, well, I cannot settle issues with the partner banks, but at least I can provide you with more details. So yeah, you can contact me definitely.
Okay, Mr. Fadi asked for the Islamic Bank. What the status of SUNREF2?
For the Islamic Bank?
For the Arab Islamic Bank, you can contact
Exactly. The Arab Islamic Bank is actively participating. We have approved already several projects for Arab Islamic. With Safa Bank, it's I mean, I really cannot say. I'm trying to get hold of them over the past several months. I did some training for their staff, but they were still considering if they want to actively promote SUNREF credit line or not. We still haven't got any application from them. But Arab Islamic Bank is active, and I really hope that Safa Bank will will soon start offering SUNREF loans to SUNREF financing to its customers as well.
Hi, Marco. But I asked, my name is Fadi Samara.
Hello, Fadi.
I asked the Islamic Bank for the SUNREF2, but in the Jenin branch, but they didn't hear about the SUNREF.
Which Arab Islamic Bank you mean?
Yes, Arabic Islamic Bank.
That's strange. Well, we are working with Marwan Badawi, but he's in the headquarters.
You can share with us the contact person with
Islamic. Yeah, just send me an email and I'll send you his email back.
Okay, thank you.
Fadi, just in case, maybe because I'm not sure if there is an Arab Islamic Bank or Islamic Arab Bank. So ممكن يكون
Islamic Arabic Bank.
It's the Arab Islamic Bank.
Yeah, it's AIB.
AIB, yes.
Make sure that this is the one, because I was confused with another one too. Okay, but for those who want to ask questions to Marco, please go to the reactions and choose the raise hands, because I will go through the rest of the questions over the box, and then we will come back to you.
Okay.
Here's okay.
I don't see raised hands.
As promised, I will share the presentation with the contact with the email of Marco. You wanted to add something, Marco?
I don't see raised hands.
I just asked them because I don't want someone to step in without يعني بس أعطونا فرصة إنه نسمح لكم عشان ما نقطع. طب let me just go through the rest of the questions. تمام. Solar energy, okay. Anwar, is there any data about the price? Okay, Shadha mentioned that they have a GROW project. Those are energy auditors, so you can contact them, or anyone from the team might try to contact. But Shadha, if you want them to contact you, then please put an email or a mobile number so that they contact you. هم يا جماعة على فكرة إنه GROW team دربوا صبايا عشان يعملوا energy audits. كمان هاي إذا بتحبوا تستفيدوا من خدماتهم أو يعني تدفعوا لهم كمان بنات يستفيدوا. Anwar, is there any data about the price of credit? I think it should be different on the normal credit.
I don't have the precise numbers because the banks are not sharing this information with us. But as I mentioned, they have this obligation in their contract with Proparco that they will have to charge the average interest rate they bill on normal loans when extending SUNREF loans. So it should be at the average market rates.
Okay. Tamam. Anwar, we will be sharing that with everyone who attended the session, so we don't have to send a separate email. Anwar, sorry, I don't have a mic, but any renewable energy plant project can have benefits from the incentives of the investment promotion law. She's mentioning about if any renewable energy project, but they have mentioned that clearly. I'm not sure about the question.
Yeah.
So solar energy.
All renewable projects are generally eligible. So yes.
Omar Harb, he said Sungate. So I don't get what Sungate is.
Well, Sungate is equipment brand.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe.
And it's eligible. So yeah.
Yeah, Anwar, she says that I work at the Investment Promotion and Industrial Estate Agency, and the project owner can get application to us and then have the incentives. كمان يا جماعة you can get incentives تقدر تاخدوا من هيئة تشجيع الاستثمار حوافز. كمان إذا بتعملوا بعض أنواع المشاريع اللي هم عندهم مثل الطاقة المتجددة ممكن تسألوا كمان إيش عندهم حوافز أخرى. They have more additional incentives for you. شكرا Anwar. Thank you Anwar. Okay. Some people are leaving. They're thanking you. Okay. Anwar, again, let me check. Yeah, guys, اوكي تمام. انور سوري مش انور. اوكي. مسلم اعمل في هيئه تشجيع الاستثمار والمدن الصناعيه مشاريع محطات الطاقه بامكانها الاستفاده من حوافز قانون تشجيع الاستثمار ولقطاع الطاقه اهميه واولويه. تمام. Thank you very much for this clarification, Anwar. Shadha again, Assam Abu Khayzaran, yes, he's the key person for the GROW team. If you would like to contact them, if you need energy auditors, they can support.
We would for sure, yes.
Yes. Shadha, again, for anyone who needs to contact a certified energy auditor trained through GROW project. Thank you, Shadha. Thank you, Mr. Islam. So we don't have any hands raised. Does anyone want to ask any questions, guys? So, thank you very much. Thanks for your questions and thanks for participating. If you can open, if someone can open the cameras, then we can take like a screenshot. في حدا بيقدر يفتح الكاميرات عشان نحاول ناخذ screen more as many as people in the. Okay, perfect. طيب في كمان. اللي حضروا احنا عاده الزوم بيطلع لنا مين اللي حضروا فاحنا we will share the presentation with the email of Marco ان شاء الله maximum in a couple of days if not today يعني بس ان شاء الله we will manage. Okay.
And I will also send you the application form so those
Perfect.
who don't have it.
Yeah. Then we can share it as soon as you send us the file. تمام. Let's do Rahat, if you can do a screenshot. Okay.
Okay, done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Inshallah. Yeah. See you. Bye-bye.